Council meeting. Please let the record reflect that all council members are present with the exception of Chair Nadolski and Council Member Blair. I've asked Council Member White if she would please do the pledge.
Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please join me in a moment of silence. Okay, thank you. So we have a recognition tonight, and I'm not sure. Yeah, Councilmember Lopez is going to be recognizing the Ogden High School Honor Society.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Vice Chair. It is an honor for me to read this recognition. The Ogden City Council and the Mayor proudly recognize the Ogden High School National Honor Society for providing invaluable contributions to the Ogden community. Members of Ogden High School's National Honor Society achieve academic excellence in the classroom while also actively providing service in the community. During this holiday season, they raised over $500 to provide a full meal for nearly 70 of our senior citizens, including several low-income residents. In addition, the students interacted with the senior citizens to provide human connection and conversation. This is merely one of many examples of kindness and service provided through the year by these inspiring students. Through collaboration with community organizations, Ogden High School's National Honor Society positively impacts the lives of many. We are proud of the manner in which these students have represented themselves. Their service, leadership, and character unify our residents and strengthen the sense of community pride in Ogden. And this is presented this 17th day of December 2019.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I can't see beyond the column there. I apologize. Hi. Oh, please come on up.
Come on up.
We'd be happy to shake your hand.
Here, come on.
You're going to take a picture?
Yes, come on
Come
up.
take this, please, if you would,
And then you
please,
can
and then you
make
can
it
say hi to everybody here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Yes. You can go around and just.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's very much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you so much.
We're going to do a picture, and then you can tell us
Did you bring anybody
happy
with you?
stuff.
My student, well, I'll talk about that. In
Yeah,
a
yeah,
second.
yeah.
I'll probably
Sure.
talk about it.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, go right up to the microphone.
Well, I guess I just want to say really quickly that they are to be recognized, and I really appreciate you for bringing attention because we do a lot, and we don't want recognition. You know, we've never asked for it. We never put it in emails. We never put it in bulletins. We just kind of do what we do, and it's all my students. And I invited them here today, and they know, but that it's them not being here is actually kind of a representation of they don't want recognition. They do so much. It's not, you know, I will take this and I'll show it off to them and I'll be so happy, but they are the most amazing students that they're just wonderful. They're absolutely amazing. And so what they've done and what they do every year, and they never ask for attention or recognition, and somehow they got it. And so somehow they just do it because they want to do it, and they do it because they're just outstanding kids. And so I'll take this back and be very proud and be very happy that they got this recognition. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What are some other things that they're working on?
So in early fall, actually late summer, they do back to school drive. And we raised tons of just papers and highlighters and just random stuff that we ended up giving to teachers, and then to Ogden High teachers, and then as well as Polk School, and then other schools in the community. Right now, they just raised last weekend $2,000 worth of clothes from Old Navy for the OCAP. And then this weekend, I wasn't there today, so I'm not quite sure. So about the same amount, I'm sure, for the Christmas Box House. So upwards of $5,000 in new clothes for children in the community from Old Navy. At the same time, we did St. Anne's. We raised a lot of food for St. Anne's. And like I said, I didn't even tally that amount. It's just a lot. We just go and take it and take it to the. But just my kids don't ask for any recognition; they just do it. So this year so far, it's been the school drive, St. Anne's, the Old Navy for OCAP, and the Christmas Box House. Pretty soon we'll do something for Valentine's Day to make sure. Oh, and then the Thanksgiving dinner. I don't want to. Sorry, that's why I'm here. But then in the spring, we will do a teacher appreciation fundraiser, and I don't know. They're just anything they want to do. I'll support them. They just are. They come up with things. So
I add to that right there. I just want to say that I approached you guys about the recognition for these because these guys have been instrumental with Agape Outreach and being able to go. When we go out, we pass out clothing for the homeless. We go ahead and we feed. We go ahead and we move people from place to place. We move people into places. There's elderly people that need to have things moved into storage. And these children have come over time after time and made themselves available. They'll see that we're doing something, and then it's we've only got 6 or 7 of them there. I say, hold on, and next thing a phone call, and 5 or 6 more of them come running. And so this group has not just been the things that she's naming there, but they have been instrumental in supporting in our efforts. And as you guys know, as we've been trying to do and work with directly day each day. For the homeless and people in diverse situations. These kids will come each and every day. After school, they'll just jet right down and do whatever needs to be done. And then they do things like they'll call and say, YCC had some things that need to be moved. So they got a hold of me, and so these kids went over and they went and helped there. So they're looking for places inside the established community that we have already got helping. This Ogden High has been instrumental. These kids and children have shown that they're going to be great leaders later on, and they're trying to do what they can to make Ogden the best they can do, and put every effort into it without any cost.
Thank you so much, Ralph, for bringing it to our attention.
I'm glad he said it better than I can, because these kids are really looking for ways to help the community. So.
Each and every day.
Yes, they really are. They're wonderful, beautiful, bright kids that really want to be involved.
Well, let them know that we really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you, and thank you for the support.
Thank you.
And I got one other
and
thing
thank
to
you.
say.
I was just going to say the same thing.
Thank
you
right
so much,
here, she's been doing this. I got Jamie Richards and Melissa Richards that are the legal counsel for my program, and also the office manager. She was affected their lives. This young lady has done this for years and years and years and years. She has been instrumental in shaping these kids to have that attitude in her commitment. She needs to be given a recognition herself, because she does it tirelessly and just all the time to the kids. It's amazing what she does. She's just tirelessly dedicated to these children, but she's also dedicated to Ogden City and to Weaver. So,
thank you again so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And you're Michelle.
Michelle Pietley.
Braden, really nice to meet you, and thank you for all of your hard work.
I have to tell you, I'm a teacher of the kids, and I know that our city produces, so I'm a teacher called Mr. Caldwell's kids. So I love them very much.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Now we have the approval of minutes from the joint work session of June 11th, 2019. Councilmember Heyer,
Yes, Vice Chair Burke, I have reviewed those minutes and found them to be accurate to the best of my recollection and move that we approve those minutes.
Second.
right, so we have a motion by Councilmember Heyer and a second by Councilmember Lopez to approve the minutes for the joint work session. Is that-
Voice vote.
Voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you for your help. Now we have the common consent, the fiscal year 2020 budget amendment, the Swift building demolition. This is to set a public hearing for January 7th, 2020.
Vice Chair Burke, I will make a motion that we approve the common consent agenda by setting the public hearing for both of those items for
Both
January
items,
7th.
also the proposed vacation of Center Avenue too.
Is that part of the common consent?
Yes. It's the second item.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Great.
Second.
So we have a motion by Councilmember Heyer, second by Councilmember White to approve the common consent. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, thank you. Now we have a public hearing for fiscal year 2020 Annual Action Plan Amendment Number 1. And I believe we have Ward, sorry. Just looking out over the vast. Ward Ogden will present.
Thank you very much. The item before you is the annual action plan amendment, which we do every year. We do an amendment to reconcile the estimated amounts in our action plan to the actual, and some changes sometimes we make. In this case, it's a very minor amendment. This was covered in a council work session on November 12th, and so this information has been presented. Yeah. Oh, it's right here. Yeah. That's right. There we go. Annual action plan. Going to have to switch for my glasses. Just to briefly indicate, the nature of the action plan is it's the annual action plan that's part of our 5-year consolidated plan. It's the application for the block grant and the home funds for the year. It defines the programs and projects that are funded in that year, and it has the goals and the budget. The changes that are proposed this time are to revise the budget from the estimates of carryover and from estimates to actual and the carryover, and to update the program income estimates for the year, adjust the budget, and reallocate funds from our Quality Neighborhoods Home Fund to the Own and Ogden program, and we'll discuss that in a minute. Modify some goals for the year. So that's the intent of this change. The budget highlights are, it's a net decrease of $35,000, and that is derived from basically the math that you see here. We've increased the program income estimates by a substantial amount, and that is estimated because we are selling homes a little quicker than we had thought, and so the funds are rotating quicker. That's both in the increase in the program income and the carryover program income, which was program income achieved in the prior fiscal year that was unanticipated, again, due to the velocity of the projects. So that's a good thing. The entitlement carryover is less by a very substantial amount, and that is because we spent the money faster. And so it all balances out. And there's a net decrease of $35,000, and that's just based on the estimates that we had. The changes are noted on this page. And those changes are basically the Own and Ogden program we're proposing, and has been recommended by our Citizen Advisory Committee, to increase the Own and Ogden program by the amount of $200,000. And as you recall, the Own and Ogden program boundary was changed to go citywide last year. And as a result of that, there's a lot of demand and a lot of opportunity, and the money is basically gone. And so we'd like to continue throughout the rest of the year, and we want to increase the budget so that we can assist 70 home buyers. We've assisted about 45 right now. The other change is in the CHODO, the Community Housing Development Organization, the $140,000 decrease. Those were funds that were spent last year, anticipated to carry over, but we actually spent them last year. The Quality Neighborhoods, that's basically the $200,000 that goes up into the Own in Ogden program. HELP, just a little bit of an increase in the HELP program due to some repayments and things like that. And then the block grant and home admin, those are calculated through a formula. So those are the changes in the community development side. In the business development side, there are some adjustments to the budget, decreases in the special economic development project and the microenterprise program, an increase in the small business loan program. And these are really intended to fund the projects that are upcoming. So there was an estimated set of projects or loans that they were going to do, but in getting into those loans, they found that they qualified for the small business loan program, so they need to move money into those programs, with a net decrease of $30,000 in that budget. Recommendation to the City Council. These were recommended by the Citizen Advisory Group to reduce the Quality Neighborhoods money by $200,000, increase the Own in Ogden, and increase the goals in the Own in Ogden program to 70. Again, the net decrease in the overall budget is $35,000. So that's the presentation. Any questions?
I have two.
Okay.
With the $35,000 that is a shortage, and the $30,000, does that come out of an account, or how do you adjust it with your with the operations of your program? Sure.
Well, the reason that there's a difference is because the budget that was adopted was estimated to, the program income, the amount of funds that were received through the sale of homes and through the repayment of loans. Those things are estimated. And by the time we do the estimate in the spring of the year, we don't really know what the actual is. And so at this point in time, we have a better feel for what those things are. So it's not a real loss of money. It's simply reconciling to get a better estimate of what we actually have versus what we thought we had.
So with the $35,000 amount, that amount is actually the amount that we're working with.
Yeah, with the reduction,
right.
These are actual numbers now.
Right.
Right, as opposed to estimates. Right. Other questions?
I have just a really quick question. So a lot of, I don't even know how to ask this. So like the home programs, we've reduced the Quality Neighborhoods by $278,000, the housing fund projects by $333,000. Are we not focusing on Quality Neighborhoods, or are we shifting that money from somewhere else?
Yes, if you're looking at the table that shows where those monies are, we felt like there was money that could be shifted, and it's not to downgrade the focus on the Quality Neighborhoods. It's that we can accomplish the goals. Some of that money may have carried over into the following year from the Quality Neighborhoods. We're not going to lose our ability to pursue the projects that we have. We have a line of credit that we can use if we get tight. And so there's money. We calculated that it can be done. It's a good place to invest. I mean, it's a loan. They come back. There's a relatively little, kind of a flow of money in and out of the Own in Ogden program. And in past years, we've invested funds when the fund ran out mid-year at this time, when we do the amendment. It's happened frequently that we invest more money into Own in Ogden just to keep it going. And, the funds come back and we reuse them and generally put them back in the Quality Neighborhoods line item. So, Anyway, that's the thought on that.
Kind of as a follow-up to that, does this in any way change the amount that we're giving for the Owen and Ogden? We had talked about that a few times, that maybe the amount needed to be increased as well.
Yeah, it hasn't. They haven't recommended a change in the program guideline. It's just an amount to go into the program so that we can do more loans.
So when you sell a home or a property, then those funds go back into your program, but also in the quality neighborhood. Is that right?
That's exactly where they go. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So we recommend adopting the resolution, which would allow us to submit this change to HUD as our program change.
Thank you, Board.
Okay. Thank you.
This is a public hearing, so we could take public input on this item only, and please keep your comments to 3 minutes.
Ralph Price, 636 6th Street. I like what I hear, but one of the things that I would like to see is I see low income. That's the closest word that has to do with anything towards what I work with in this. But how about no income? Some of the people that are out there that are uneducated in what's going on, or how to proceed along in life, and how to be able to get back into it, so that these things matter to them in this. I was wondering if there's a way to be able to add into what he's talking about, some kind of educational program, so that we might be able to instill inside of some of the people that have got off track, to once again feel that sense of responsibility and feel that sense of community, so they can know what a good neighborhood is, and they could want to join that, and they could want to be able to be a part of that. I think that education is the key. I think that's the way that we're going to deal with homelessness, that we're going to deal with diverse situations and everything, is to be able to educate. I would like to see him be able to have some type of seminar, or some type of something, so that people that are unaware of this and unaware of how this impacts them or will impact them if they get back into society, and how it plays within the whole scheme of things in this. I want to find a way to be able to instill dreams again, and to instill motivation into people that are less fortunate than us. And in doing that, we've got to find ways that, even in talking things like this, we've got to find ways to educate. We've got to find ways to inform. And so if we can find a way that we can add to this amendment something, so that others can be able to be informed about it, and it might do something to incite somebody, or to change somebody, or to inspire somebody to reach to a better goal.
Thank you. Any other comments about this item?
No, but I think, Vice Chair, if Mr. Ogden could come up and explain what the threshold of the low income would be, that would be helpful.
Great.
Just to make sure that everybody understands what we're.
I wish I had the numbers off the top of my head. I don't. I know that
I guess
the
more
funds
than
are-
anything, is it a focus on the low income? And
Sure.
it doesn't address no income, but could you
Right.
just.
Well, the funds that come to us from the federal government they have an objective that they come. We have to meet an objective. They call it a national objective. And the objective is to benefit low and moderate income individuals, all of it. That's what the programs are all about. That's the national objective. And so incomes can be from 0 up to 80% of the median income. The maximum would be about $68,000 for a household of 4. So that's the maximum income, but it assists and benefits people anywhere below that as well. And so depending on the type of program or the property involved, in order for someone to purchase a property, they have to have income, obviously, to do that. And so that's generally where the programs go, is into helping people to have housing. And so we deal with homeownership opportunities there's other agencies that deal with rental properties, the housing authorities and all. And so our programming doesn't go to that, but so there's a broad range of agencies that deal with those types of things. So I don't know if that
That's
answers.
perfect. I just wanted people to understand that it's
It's all
targeted
about
for-
low and moderate income. That's where a benefit goes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ward. Is there any other comments? I don't see any movement. Would someone like to motion?
I'll make a motion that we close the public hearing.
Second.
A motion by Councilmember Heyer and a second by Councilmember Lopez to close the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'll make a motion that we adopt Resolution 2019-25.
I second it.
So we have a motion by Councilmember Heyer and a second by Councilmember Stevens for proposed resolution 2019-25. It's a roll call vote.
Councilmember Heyer,
Aye.
Councilmember Lopez,
Aye.
Councilmember Stevens,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Vice Chair Chaburka.
Aye. That passes. So I was waiting for somebody else to say that.
Vice Chair, I think one of the components of Mr. Price's question was about education.
Right.
And I don't think that falls within the department of what Ward is responsible for. Would there be a area where education would fall in Ogden City or in the school system? I'm not sure where we would direct that resource.
Well, there's Ogden City schools, there's Weber State University, there's the Tech College. All of them have resources. Tech College has grants and things that people can get so that if they don't have the income to be able to go to school, there's classes that are taught at the education center where Luis kind of hangs out all day long. And so there are resources there. It really isn't in our bandwidth to do that. That's not an expertise we have. Even Workforce Services has ability to be able to do some of those things. So there are agencies that have those resources. We're not one of those agencies that has those.
And there are some nonprofit organizations that have that opportunity. I think education is important to lift the status of individuals, and it's very important to do that. But I just wondered if, now that we've given some resources out there, that we can maybe follow up with some of those.
I agree.
In that
I mean,
area.
yeah, there's several not-for-profit organizations that help people kind of build up their creditworthiness and their financial, education or their literacy to understand how maybe to undertake those things or apply for things too. Great, thank you. So now we have a public hearing for fiscal year 2020 budget amendments, annual action plan amendment number 1.
This is Lisa.
Is there
This is Lisa Stout.
is there a separate? Oh,
Yeah, separate
separate
hearing.
presentation.
Yeah, sorry. I know it sounds kind of like the exact same thing. but-
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I actually did not prepare a presentation. This action is an ordinance to adjust the city budget to match the annual action plan reviewed by Ward Ogden. The net adjustment is a reduction in the city budget of $35,225. And if you have questions about it, Ward is here to answer the specifics of the question.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. This is also a public hearing, so we'd be happy to take public input if you'd keep your comments to 3 minutes or less and be only about this topic.
Seeing no movement, I'll make a motion that we close the public hearing.
Second.
A motion to close the public hearing by Councilmember Heyer and a second by Councilmember White. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? I forgot to ask that the last time. Great.
Vice Chair Chavarka, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the ordinance 2019-53.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion by Councilmember Lopez, second by Councilmember White for proposed ordinance 2019-53. It's a roll call vote.
Councilmember Lopez,
Aye.
Councilmember Stevens,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember Heyer,
Aye.
Vice Chair Chaburka.
Aye. And that passes. Great, thank you so much. So now we have time for public comment about any topic or issue that you'd like to address the council. This will also be a limit of 3 minutes, if you don't mind.
Even if you do.
Oh, here
Still want
comes
3
Ralph. Yeah.
No, I'm going to
We
go.
will cut you off at 3 minutes.
Ralph Price again, 636 6th Street. I had a chance this week to escape my hospital stay over for a day. And I had heart surgery, but we had a scheduled meeting with your boss, Weber State's president, vice president, provost, that's a couple of the chairs, president down at the tech down here, and they're very advantageous about being able to educate and use that as a way to be able to deal with some of our problems with homelessness and people have diverse situations. We have so many out there that I've found with inside of to work with that we have 2 ladies that are 1 year short of being able to have their master's degree in education. I took up some computer programmers, and this can whip anything that they can throw at them, but they don't have that little piece of paper that's a certification, and so they're having a piecemeal job. This council is doing just a tremendous job in being able to have an awareness on what it is to be without and to try to help, and I'm very thankful for that. I want to say that, but I just want you to know that we could do more, and Weber State and Tech College and others are willing, but we've got to put together a database. We've got to put together a database of the homeless in Ogden so that we might be that have proficiency and have the acronym to be able to go to the tech and be able to get that certification, become an apprentice, become a journeyman. And in that way, instead of piecemealing job, going into working each and every day for $7 to $10 an hour to feed a 5-kid family and a wife and kids, these guys have a chance to be able to proficiently go up in scale and be able to be hired on at places because they have that little piece of paper. So I wanted to see if I could just approach the council, being able to be advantageous about helping to put together a database of our homeless that are in Ogden City that Weber State and the tech school can draw from. The president and vice president up at Weber State are tremendously excited about it and would love to have a chance to be able to see this work. We'd be the first in the nation to be able to have homeless going to college, homeless going to tech school. And so there's incentive for us to go ahead and do this. We could actually beat Salt Lake City at something. And but it's right there for us to do, and I believe this is the way we're going to be able to do something to really help the people that are in these lesser spots is by education. So if we could just go ahead and have some help being able to put together a database of these people that are proficient and being able to go there, we have a window here, and let's make it a doorway and get some help going.
Thanks, Ralph. Any other comments? Come on up. And you can move that microphone down a little bit if you'd like.
I know, it's always that way. Okay, my name is Marie Hogue, and I've lived in Ogden my whole life except for college, and I live at 1164 20th. Now, the message is short, but it's really vital because this has to do with people's lives. I'm here to call attention to the hazardous intersection at 20th Street and Harrison Boulevard. There are an inordinate number of traffic accidents at this intersection. The statistics can be looked up at the police department. There appears to be 2 factors that contribute to the hazard. One is the factor of the poorly engineered left turn lane, which I have no control over because that's going to take a lot of work. The second factor is speed. Driving south from the corner of 12th Street on Harrison Boulevard, the speed limit is not posted until 0.2 of a mile. And then at that point, you go up the hill, it's posted at 50 miles an hour for 1.3 of a mile. Very short space. Then it's posted at 40 miles per hour, 1/10 of a mile from the intersection of 20th and Harrison. Cars have no previous warning that the speed limit is going to change. It's the only place that's listed 50 miles an hour on Harrison Boulevard. There is a steep upward grade from the Ogden River Bridge to the crest of the hill. The speed at which the traffic comes up the hill from the north compounds the danger created by the poor intersection alignment. Oncoming southbound traffic is not visible until it crests the hill. Our family accesses this intersection several times a day. Several years ago, one of our sons was involved in a collision at the intersection. Over the years, the frequency and the severity of the collisions have increased. I know Harrison Boulevard is a state road controlled by UDOT, and they set the speed limits. Hopefully, they will consider input from the local government and the residents who continue to make the 911 calls. Again, I think this would be taken care of if we just could put 40 miles an hour. That would slow the people coming up the street. Thank you. I'd like to know what happens. The mayor said they worked on it this morning, so I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much
Merry
for coming.
Christmas.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. And you already spoke with her?
I'll give an update.
Okay. Great. Any other public comment? Okay. Would you like to make any comments?
I would. I appreciate you being here, Ms. Hogan. We got your letter, and we have been talking about it. So a couple of things we have done. We've had our traffic engineer looking into it. We can make recommendations to UDOT. Ultimately, it's on them to accept or reject. But I'm going to personally send a letter, as I mentioned earlier. Justin Anderson's been working on it, to Carlos Braceras himself, and request a meeting and make sure that this gets some attention. So we've been working on it. I think I got the email 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago from you, and that started the ball rolling. So we're down the road a little bit. And as we get updates, I'll be happy to pass those along. So appreciate you being here.
Thank you. If you put it,
So we're working on it, and we'll get back to you as soon as some of those things. And Carlos is the director of UDOT statewide, so we're going straight to the top with it, and we'll get some attention there. Then with that being said, it was pointed out that this will be the last city council meeting of the decade. So I want to congratulate you all for being here and wish you all some happy holidays. Thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you. Any other council member comments?
Marie, I thought you did a great job, and appreciate your comments on that. And I appreciate the mayor for looking into this situation. I think there's some justification of maybe looking at the speed limit along Harrison. Slowing the traffic sometimes helps out a great deal, and in fact, they sometimes will stop in our city and maybe purchase something. So it's a benefit in that capacity. I would like to mention also that this, since we met last, is that a individual who had a great impact in our community has passed away, and that is Joe McQueen. He assisted many individuals and helped them out a great deal. He made a great impact in how Ogden is today and for the arts, and he'll be greatly missed. And I appreciated his contributions to our city of Ogden. He was 100 years old, and I guess we're fortunate if we make it that far. But he really lived a full life and made a great contribution. And I too would like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and Weber State by 3.
I would appreciate making some comments also, kind of along the lines of Councilmember Stevens with respects to Joe McQueen. His influence was was very wide. I had no idea. I attended a Christmas concert with Kurt Bester, and he was honored in those 3 concerts that he had in Salt Lake last week. And just very remarkable man. You know, he typifies humility. As gifted as he was, he just was always humble and set a good example for those that came around, you know, that was around him. And he'll seriously be missed. But I also want to wish all the good members of our city a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And we won't meet again until after the first of the year. So carry on and have a good holiday season.
Any comments on this side?
And Weber State by 3.
Great. Well, yeah, just echoing all of your comments. Just wish everybody a great holiday season, and pretty excited. I've survived 2 years being on the council now. Can you believe the time flies pretty quickly? And when we get to come back, we get to celebrate some re-elected officials, so that'll be fun. And everybody have a great holiday. So now I would be happy to take
Motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn. Thank you.
Second.
Okay, motion to adjourn by Councilmember Heyer, second by Councilmember Lopez. All in favor?
Aye.
And then we will move on to
Any
our
opposed?
any opposed. Sorry. We'll move on to our special redevelopment agency meeting. Okay, great. So welcome to our special redevelopment agency meeting of December 17th, 2019. Please note that all board members are present with the exception of Chair Nadolski and Board Member Blair. We have the common consent for fiscal year 2020 budget amendment, the Swift building demolition. We're setting the public hearing.
Vice Chair Chaberka, I'll make a motion that we adopt the common consent agenda by setting the public hearing for January 7th on the item listed.
Thank you.
I second it.
Thank you. So we have a motion by Board Member Heyer, second by Board Member Stevens to set the public hearing for January 7th for proposed resolution 2019-17. This is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. So now we have reports for administration, a real estate purchase contract for Brown's Ice Cream Building. Brandon Cooper will be joining us from behind the pillar. That was kind
He'd like to
of
sit behind that
surprising.
pillar.
Yeah, I thought you were back there, but I wasn't
I
sure.
don't think I can sit back there anymore because I just realized I can't see the TV screen. That's a new thing for me. I'm finding myself
you're gonna have to
squinting
move
a
up
lot.
a little bit.
Yeah, or get glasses, probably both.
A little bit of both.
So thanks for your time. This will be, I think, fairly brief and to the point. For your consideration tonight is Resolution 2019-18, which authorizes the Executive Director to enter into a real estate purchase contract with Dan McEntee for the sale of the Brown's Ice Cream Building, which is just across the street on Grant Avenue. If you recall, back in 2016, the agency staff was authorized to purchase what was known as the Continental Bakery, the Hostess plant, and we've been working on that site ever since it's purchased. It's since been demolished. There's also been the Continental Reinvestment Project Area Plan implemented that covers this site, and we've been working really hard to envision the future of what this 4.9 acre property could be. We knew that it wasn't necessarily prudent to keep it as a manufacturing plant in the middle of our city, so we've been working really hard to envision its new use. However, in doing so, we recognize that the small building, which was once operated as the Brown's Ice Cream Building, did have historic value greater than all of the other buildings that were torn down, and it was a condition from you folks at that time and has been implemented or incorporated into our planning to keep the building and to reuse the building as a historic asset. And so that leads us to today. The building has been salvaged. The actual building stands with all of the other connected and adjacent buildings being removed. It has left it in some rough condition, but Dan McEntee, who is a local developer who has been developing in Ogden since the days of the Riverbend project, Bingham Bicyclery and some of those early projects. So he's interested in turning this into a commercial building with office on the top and retail on the bottom, or restaurant. And so the proposal is $100,000 purchase price, $5,000 of which is contributed as earnest money already, which leaves a $95,000 closing amount, which would be paid at the time of closing. There are a couple of caveats to this deal that are important to recognize, given the original condition of salvaging the building and our own purposes of incorporating this into the larger Continental plan. And that is, one, there is a condition that there must be a certificate of occupancy issued by the city within 2 years of closing. And that would prevent him holding onto the building past the development of the adjacent block, and hopefully aligns those two projects a little more closely. So that's important. We want to see those things develop together and concurrently. And also, and most importantly, the condition that the building be put on the local register or the historic register at any time during ownership. However, there will be a deed restriction placed on the building that prevents its demolition or its demolition by neglect until such time that the nomination to the register has been made. So what that means is that the deed restriction is the strongest of all of those kind of requirements, and that will be placed on it prior to closing, or actually it'll be recorded at closing. So that helps protect the building as intended by you folks and as desired by us through our planning process. And so I think it really puts that building in a good position for at least 25 years. That's the duration of the deed restriction.
Excellent.
Bless you. So that's essentially the proposal tonight, and we recommend approval of Resolution 2019-18.
Questions?
I do have a question. What is the enforcement remedy if he doesn't make the certificate of occupancy within 2 years?
Liquidated damages, meaning there's a monetary penalty imposed on him that runs for a period of 12 months, and it's a monthly fee. So it's really steep, and I think motivates him to make sure he doesn't miss that deadline.
Okay. And so it would be imposed on the title if he doesn't pay it? Or?
No, it's essentially a contractual remedy that we would enforce.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Mr. Cooper, could you explain how we go out to bid, or how we use third-party realtors or whatever to list this? It's not a...
Yeah, we don't usually...
We don't go looking for the people.
Yeah, we don't usually sell a lot of our assets. We usually keep them for our own redevelopment purposes. In this case, we chose to sell, and so we contacted a local commercial real estate broker, and he listed it. There's various tools that occurs, LoopNet, and now I spaced the other one. Anyway, there's a number of sites that they use, and he received an offer from Dan McEntee using that listing, and then we just started the negotiation process after that.
Thank you.
And how long was it listed?
I think he received the offer in the first month, so it wasn't listed long.
I have a question about Dan McEntee. Can you give us a background on Dan? Is he financially sound? Has he built other units, properties in the city? Just give a basic background of who he is so that we have a familiarity with that.
Sure. Usually the validity of a buyer is represented in the ability for him to come to the closing table and close. That's really the only vetting that we would do traditionally on a buyer. But in this case, he's a little bit more than just a buyer. We want to see a development scenario take place. So we did do a little bit of due diligence as it relates to how we would vet a real developer. And in this case, Dan has a pretty extensive track record of doing things in Ogden. He owns a number of buildings now. He's owned quite a few additional buildings over the last 20 years in Ogden. We have had a couple of financial interactions with him, one being a loan that was made by our Business Information Center to him as a partner in the Bingham's Bicyclery Shop. That was years ago. And then there was another deal that we did with him where the RDA contributed the Purina dog food plant down on B Avenue, where he has built the B Avenue Brewery. That was a land transfer deal that was approved by the RDA. So those are two of the more development financial interactions that we've had with him. The other projects that he has done in town have all been done through his own resources. He hasn't come to the city for tax increment subsidy. He hasn't come to the city for other special requests in that manner. So we feel comfortable that he has a strong orientation to Ogden, a good track record, and we feel like he has the wherewithal to do this building.
So he's financially to carry through this project then?
Right. He's had a number of successful transactions that have yielded a bit of cash for him, as well as his financial partners who he usually brings on board for these types of commercial deals. We've met a couple of those guys, and from what we can tell, there's financial wherewithal there.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Great, thank you,
Thanks.
Brandon. So now we'll receive public input on this item. If you'd like to make any comment, please make it under 3 minutes.
Me again.
Hi, Ralph. We're so happy to see you.
I just want to say that Ralph Price, 636 6th Street, 77. Dan McAfee has been instrumental in doing a lot of work around Ogden that is beautiful. It's right in correlation with what's been done for where Ogden's going or what Ogden's looking to do. That brewery is one of the nicest things. That's what he's done with there, and it's been such an improvement on the condition of the area. So I'm coming up because the question came up about Dan McAfee and what he's looking to do, and that's his vision of has to be is right in line with what Ogden is. He's been involved in so many different things here with his business and with you guys, I guess. But I just want to call into question anything about his vision of what to do, and that's right in line with what we'd like to see Ogden be, and what another thing that he's innovative in his thought then too. So that it's not just looking to tear things down and put up a new building. It's innovative enough to be able to keep the culture and keep the integrity of what we've got here from the past and bring it into the future here and put a little something with it so that it's beautiful construction. So I just want to say that that's got a great choice, and anything that he's doing or looking to do would be good. And I do like that Browns. I remember that from the time I was a kid. So I'm very much in favor of keeping that building and seeing him what he's got planned for it.
Thank you.
You're never going to get ice cream there again, though, Ralph.
Yes.
Maybe. He might serve ice
I
cream.
don't know. You think?
Why not?
You could have ice cream there.
Yeah.
Might be nice.
Oh, and happy holidays.
Thank
My
you.
input. Okay, so is anybody else coming up for input? Public hearing.
Seeing no movement, we close the public hearing.
It wasn't a public hearing.
It's just
I thought it was
yeah, I
public
was just trying to
input.
figure that out too.
Sorry.
You and me both. Great. So I'd be happy to take a motion.
I propose that we adopt the resolution 2019-18.
Second?
So I have a motion by Board Member White, second by Board Member Heyer for proposed resolution 2019-18. This is a roll call vote.
Board Member Heyer,
Aye.
Board Member Lopez,
Aye.
Board Member Stevens,
Aye.
Board Member White,
Aye.
Vice Chair Chaburka.
Aye. And that passes. Thank you very much. Would you like to make any comments, Executive Director
Nothing to add at this time. Thank you.
and board members?
I just had a really quick comment. I really appreciate the work that Brandon does, and I think that looking at our older buildings and trying to save them is very important and important to our community. So thank you for really trying to work with this one as well. So.
Agreed. Time's up.
Time's up.
Okay, great. So looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Comments.
Second.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Have a happy holiday, everybody. Thank you.